Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here and welcome back to The Fragrance Well. So guys, one thing I think will always be successful in terms of a style of fragrance is going to be fragrances that exhibit a sense of cleanliness, a clean scent, if you will. And I do think clean scents can be presented in a couple of variety of ways. They don't necessarily have to be soapy, so that's not the focus of today's video. It's just fragrances that in some way present themselves as being a clean fragrance. So that's today's video topic. I've got 8 fragrances that I think give off a sense of cleanliness. I also did my best to try to represent the different styles of cleanliness I think you can have with the fragrance. So before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, first up, coming from the house of Prada, we've got Prada L'Homme. Prada L'Homme. So this one here shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. This is a very fresh and sweet powdery fragrance featuring a note of iris, but it does have a cleanliness to it. Matter of fact, I like to describe this fragrance as smelling like a very upscale and expensive hand soap. It's known as a very good office scent, and I think part of that is due to the fact that this fragrance has that freshness and that cleanliness to it. Now, it doesn't necessarily 100% smell like soap, so I wouldn't consider it a soapy fragrance. It's just got this kind of elevated sense to it. That's why I like to call it a very expensive and exclusive hand soap. Nevertheless, I think this fragrance definitely can give off a sense of cleanliness. Very good one from the house of Prada. I hope this line is gonna stick around. It does seem like it's on borrowed time, but it is what it is, but you can still find it pretty regularly right now. So once again, from the house of Prada, this is Prada L'Homme. Next up, from the house of Amarud, we have got Lunar Vetiver. Amarud's Lunar Vetiver. So this is obviously a vetiver fragrance. It's a very deep vetiver fragrance, pretty strong fragrance as well. Not gonna be the easiest thing for everyone. However, it does have a cleanliness aspect to it. There's a lot of aromatics in here, primarily sage, which I think sage is a very good aromatic note that can give you a sense of cleanliness. There's some fresh spices in here as well. And there is a touch of soapiness also coming from that combination of sage with tobacco flower that's also in this fragrance. It does have some sweet accords to kind of, balance it out a bit, make it not go too far in one direction, so to speak. But very nice fragrance, definitely kind of an office style fragrance as well, primarily if you're dressing like business casual or something like that, at least in my opinion. But it does have a very nice freshness to it, and I do think it has a clean smell. So once again, from the house of Amarud, this is Lunar Vetiver. Next up, coming from the house of Lalique, this is Lalique White. Lalique White. So this fragrance here, definitely a very clean smelling fragrance. I think it's also a really good one if you want to spray it on like right out of the shower. So this one here makes use of very fresh spices and a lot of citrusy accords, primarily of a lemony style. The base of this fragrance is pretty much cedar wood and kind of an ambery and musk combination. Very nice fragrance. Can come across as a little bit mature. I don't think this one is necessarily for everybody, but it is a very clean smelling fragrance. And even though it may not be, a super big attention grabber, I don't think anyone would deny that you're gonna smell dirty with this fragrance. You're gonna smell fresh and clean with it. Great thing about this one is it's not super expensive either, so it might be a nice fragrance to check out. Once again, from the house of Lalique, this is Lalique White. Matter of fact, the fragrance pretty much smells kind of like the bottle looks. All right, next up, coming from the house of Dior, we've got Dior Homme Original. Dior Homme Original. So, what I like about this fragrance in terms of presenting a clean quality, even though it is definitely an iris scent, has that full makeup-y, creamy kind of iris. It's supported with a good amount of lavender and sage, giving it this kind of soapy quality. So that's what I really like about the original iteration of Dior Homme versus the other ones. Not that I'm saying it's better or worse. I'm just saying that this one has that quality that the other ones don't. Very nice, clean sentiment with this fragrance. To me, it's those aromatic qualities that really cement this as a really good office fragrance. And all of those combined with the iris and the leathery accords that this one has just really make for a great well-rounded gentleman's fragrance. So once again, from the house of Dior, we've got Homme Original. Next up, from the house of Mason Francis Kirkjohn, this is Aqua Celestia Forte. MFK Aqua Celestia Forte. Now this fragrance here is purely a very soapy fragrance. Very strong, nice bright citruses, more of in that lime-like direction. Lots of florals in here. Very bright fragrance. It's got notes like peppermint, kind of lending to that soapy, fresh quality that this one has. You will definitely always smell clean with this fragrance. Also a pretty good performer too, just throwing that in there. This one definitely can work as one of those fresh out of the shower fragrances to kind of keep you having a clean smell to yourself. Overall, really good fragrance, really nice, clean option from the house of MFK. So once again, this is Aqua Celestia Forte. Next up, coming from the house of Xerjoff, this is Neo. Xerjoff's Neo. So this one here, very fresh fragrance, beautiful citrus in the opening, a lot of fresh spices, some aromatic touches, a little bit of a green facet to it, very clean smelling fragrance. Matter of fact, I would say that this one does have a soapy quality to it, but not completely. It's a little bit different than what you might think of as your typical soap, but doesn't matter. Clean fragrance for sure, smells amazing, very bright and brisk, great fresh option in my opinion, great clean option, and I don't think anyone would say, oh, you smell dirty if they smelled this fragrance on you. Great option for the house of Xerjoff. Once again, this is Neo. Alright, so this next one's also from the house of Xerjoff from the Cosmoratti line. This is Mephisto Gentil Uomo. Mephisto Gentil Uomo. Another very clean fragrance. I think the inspiration for this fragrance was a clean, freshly cut or fresh shaven gentleman. So this one features a lot of citrus in the top. It's kind of a blend of citruses. I think there's like lemon, lime, maybe even some grapefruit or something like that. Has a very strong aromatic touch, quite a bit of lavender in this, and a really nice floral bed and a base of musk that just makes for a nice, bright, clean, fresh fragrance. To me, it kind of has a little bit of a barbershop vibe to it. If our barbershop fragrances were going to be presented in a very fresh and bright way, where they're typically more so like spicy and aromatic. This one takes it in a little bit of a different direction, but it's a clean fragrance for sure. You will definitely come off as a clean person smelling this fragrance, unless you didn't shower and you got some other stuff kind of hiding underneath the fragrance. I wouldn't suggest doing that. Either way, this is a great option for me personally when I want to have a clean smell to my fragrance wear. Once again, from the house of Xerjoff, this is Mephisto Gentil Uomo. Alright, and last but not least, from the house of 8 and Bob, this is Memoirs de Mystique. Memoirs de Mystique from the house of 8 and Bob. Now this one here, definitely a clean fragrance, but it's giving it to you more so in a floral sense. Lots of notes from the bitter orange tree in this fragrance. So neroli, petitgrain, orange blossom, things like that. Quite a bit of citrus as well. Very musky dry down, kind of dried woods dry down too. A little bit of an ambery touch to it. Smells like a clean bouquet of florals. Kind of makes me think like I walked into a building that had some air purification or something going on that has a floral touch to it and doesn't smell like a bunch of chemical cleaners. If you're familiar at all with Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, it's pretty much a fragrance done in that style, but it does do its own thing. But you will definitely smell clean with this fragrance, and I just think it's a great one if you want to kind of exhibit everything that the bitter orange tree has to offer. Once again, from the house of 8 and Bob, this is Memoirs de Mystique. Alright guys, that's gonna do it. That was 8 fragrances that I think give off a sense of cleanliness when you are wearing them. Let me know down in the comments below, what's a fragrance you like to wear when you just simply want to smell clean, regardless of how that comes across. I appreciate you guys watching all the way into the end, and remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.